The Grau 556 has just received a nerf that is long overdue. It's had its effective range slashed, which means that it is no longer a long-range laser beam capable of outgunning just about every other weapon in the game. The result is that the meta of Warzone is now in a state of limbo. The Grau is simply not good enough anymore to be considered dominant in the game, which means that the spot for the best assault rifle in Warzone is now open. There's plenty of other options out there, from the high damage Odin to the point and click M13. But I think that the best weapon out there to replace the Grau as the best assault rifle in Warzone right now is the M4A1. This video is going to be breaking down a Warzone duos win, where I'll be showing you the best M4A1 setup, as well as giving you a guide on how to use it effectively. As well as that, I'll be including some general tips and tricks that can give you an extra edge in Warzone. So, if you're looking for a new gun to replace the nerfed Grau 556, then look no further than this video. Now, the Grau was so incredibly powerful for a few simple reasons. It had very little recoil and a great effective range, meaning that it was amazing for medium to long range gunfights. It also had a reasonably high fire rate, which made it great for close quarters use as well. The fact that the Grau was powerful in almost all situations is what made it so good. There simply aren't very many guns in this game that have that same kind of potential. Nearly every other assault rifle has some kind of major downside. A great example is the Odin. Insanely high damage, which makes it amazing at just about any range, but the violent recoil means that you have to constantly wrestle with it to stay on target. It has a clear weakness, which is exactly why they aren't a common sight in Warzone. The M4A1, however, doesn't suffer from these problems. It's got a great fire rate, controllable recoil and good effective range. Plus, with the right attachments, you can build on this strong foundation to produce an incredibly powerful weapon. My ideal setup would be the following: operator foregrip, 50 round extended magazine, monolithic suppressor, Corvus custom marksman barrel, no stock. This setup gives you an M4 that is the perfect all-rounder. It's got easily controllable recoil and heavily extended range. This makes it perfect for taking out distant targets with ease. The extended magazine means that you can use this M4 to confidently engage multiple players without having to worry about reloading. Meanwhile, the no stock option gives you a massive mobility boost. This counteracts the additional weight gained from the other attachments and prevents the gun from feeling slow and sluggish. Instead, it's a lightweight killing machine that is quick enough to be used in fast-paced, close quarters situations. This increase in speed and handling does come at a compromise though, as it does mean the weapon is harder to control. If you'd prefer to have a weapon that you don't even need to think about controlling the recoil on, then using the default stock and the rubberized grip tape will reduce the recoil to a minimum. I love this setup for a variety of reasons, but mainly because there isn't a situation that it underperforms in. It's got the range needed for those long distance shootouts, but also the speed and close range power that you can rely on when you're up close and personal with enemies. Because of this, the M4 can be used with just about any playstyle and in a wide variety of situations. As you can see here, I'm using this setup to tackle multiple enemies at close range. Now, the M4 is a lot of things, but it is definitely not a spray and pray weapon. This gun rewards accuracy and is perfectly capable of outcompeting SMGs provided that you can stay on target. Thanks to the clear iron sights though, this shouldn't really be a problem. The M4 is at its best when you're fighting in and around cover, preferably at short to medium range. The controllable fire rate and larger magazine gives you a huge advantage when you're tackling enemies in and out of cover. The trick is to not get into a point blank range engagement where an SMG player can simply hip fire you to death and exploit the rocket high fire rate of something like the MP7. However, you really shouldn't see this as a disadvantage of the M4, as it's still an effective all around weapon. It's not specialised to any particular scenario. It's just not fair to expect it to outcompete a weapon built for extremely close range, as that would remove the need to even have an SMG weapon class in the game. The biggest strength of this weapon setup is that it gives you the best choice of secondary that you can ask for. You can carry any secondary that you want, because you can rely on this weapon to handle the majority of gunfights. The versatile nature of the M4 means that you can carry a sniper for long distance targets, or you can carry an SMG for some extra close quarters firepower. The point is that you've always got the trusty M4 to fall back to. As a result, you're never going to be limited by range, and you'll never find yourself in a situation that you're not equipped to deal with. One of the worst things that can happen to you in Warzone is when you find a player that you can't take down because your weapons aren't suited to that situation. For this reason, I often carry either an MP5 or a HDR, as they are each designed for a very specific purpose and aren't going to be useful for anything else besides that. A sniper is not going to help you push a team in a small building, whilst an SMG is useless at dropping targets hundreds of meters away. The M4 completely removes this problem, as it can handle a broad range of engagements, whilst your specialised secondary can shine in the scenario that it's designed for. It's all well and good me telling you why this gun is so powerful, but you also need to know how to use it if you want to see it shine. The great thing about the M4 though is that it's easy to use. In most situations, it's very much a point and click experience. Medium range is definitely the strong point of this weapon, as it's so easy to control that hitting shots is extremely easy. The only time this isn't true is at long range. In these kinds of gunfights, your best option is to burst fire the weapon. Tap away at enemies with short, controlled burst for maximum effectiveness. If you just fire away without controlling the recoil, then you will go off target. Like I mentioned earlier in the video though, if you want to eliminate recoil completely, then changing a few attachments will do this. There's actually not a lot of specific guidance that I can give you for this M4, as it just doesn't need it. Obviously, there's some generic guidance that comes with any assault rifle, like fight from cover, don't rush headlong at players who have SMGs, and so on. You still need to be accurate, and you still need to play smart with your positioning. No gun will ever be good enough that you can win gunfights without thinking. The best part about this M4 is the fact that it's good at just about everything. You can equip any other secondary and know that this setup will handle just about everything else. It's easy to use and performs well at every range. It offers you a huge range of choice in Warzone, and is a great addition to just about any playstyle. Like everything else in Warzone, it's still accuracy dependent, but it's so easy to use that it can be a great weapon in the hands of any player. If you're looking for a dependable primary weapon in Warzone, then the M4 is a great option.